So it looks like the champions in waiting are coming out of Milan over in the Serie A, but will it be Internazionale or will it be AC? We'll take a little look next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction show. Today we're taking a look at match number 27 out in Serie A, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, where the heck have you been, boys? Smash your subscribe button to get you bang up to date. All things Serie A related, Blackburn Rovers related, world football related, we're going to know here. Warruski, that's right, boys and girls. Of course, games coming thick and fast wherever you look, whichever league you're looking at. But of course, it is the same sort of stuff right here over in Serie A. We'll get to that in just a minute. Of course, a big shout out to the VIP band of brothers we talk about. It is the Patrianos. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about this, boys and girls. We have a new member of the gang. That's right, Michael Collier returns to be the 26th member of the Patreon gang. So big shout out to him. Thank you for supporting the channel in another way. And if you are out there and watching, you know what? I think I should support this clown. Or get in the old description down there. There is a link, patreon.com/Roverseas. But yes, I do appreciate the support, guys. We've got a lot of stuff coming. Of course, it does give you access to some of these posts that we've done before. Also, it does give you access to the Patreon, the Prediction League data, which you can see how close you are from in any other leagues that we're doing. And of course, you can probably even get some inside information of course, what's going on behind the bloody scenes. But anyway, let's get on, of course, and take a look at the next round of matches, of course. But before all that, we'll take a look, of course, at how we all got on last time around, starting with this guy right here, as of course see my picks coming on in. Of course, Spezia took on Benevento. That ended up as a 1-1 draw. That was my pick anyway. It was a 0-0 draw, I believe. That took place on Saturday. 1-1 was the final score. Sorry, 0-0 was my pick. Goal scorer was Daniel Verdi on score sheet for Spezia. Adolfo Gaich on score sheet for Benevento as they split the points right down the middle. Meanwhile, Udinese against Sassuolo ended up as a 2-0 win for Udinese, and a surprise win there for Udinese. Having a good old season in their regard. Fernando Loriente on the score sheet for Roberto Pereira as well, giving them the 3 points. I actually remember the 2-1 win going the other way. Shame on me. Meanwhile, Juventus, they did beat Lazio 3-1. Robert, Moriata and Morata with a brace, actually. And that one, Joachim Carriera on the score sheet for Lazio as they came out on top with a 3-1 win to keep themselves. An ambitious attempt at winning the title once again, but it's still not done and dusted. Meanwhile, to Sunday's game, Roma against Genoa, and it was a 1-0 win for Roma. Gianluca Mancini on the score sheet giving Roma the W. I actually remember the 2-0 win, so not too shabby. Of course, AC Milan kept up the heat for a little bit. Radi Krunic, Diogo Dalot on the score sheet, of course, for AC Milan as they took all 3 points with the 2-0 win over Verona. I actually remember the 2-0 win myself. Not too shabby. The game of the day there was to Fiorentina with a 3-3 draw over Parma. Lucas Martinez Quarta on the score sheet. Nikola Milenkovic as well. Simonio Icaponi with the bag for OG. Julia Kuka, Jasmine Kuricic, Miriam Venatin Mihaela on the score sheet for Parma as they split the points right down the middle with a 3-3 bloody draw. I actually remember the 2-0 win myself. Meanwhile, Crotone up against, of course, Torino. Ended up as a 3-4-4-2 win. Of course, for Crotone, there's another game of the day right there. Simi with a couple of goals there. Andrea Scherecha with Armin Gunas as well, with Rolando Mandronga and Antonio Sanabria on score sheet. Of course, Thomas Rincon getting himself sent off in a bit of a goal score. Looks like Torino are in trouble. Looks like matey boy Belotti needs a move. Next up, though, we have Sampdoria. They did beat, they drew with Cagliari 2-2 in the end. Actually, over the 2-2 win myself. Goal scorer of the day was Bertos Pericinski on the score sheet. Mano Gabbiadini as well. Ja Pedro and Radan Nungala on the score sheet for Cagliari as the points were split right down the middle. Actually, remember the two. What did I go with? I went with a 2-0 win. That's right. Meanwhile, Napoli did beat Bologna as well, 3-1 in the end. Insigne Osman on the score sheet. Insigne with a couple of goals there. Roberto Soriano as well, giving a goal for Bologna. A 3-1 loss for them, and of course, big win for Napoli. Actually, with a 3-0 win myself. And then finally, of course, on Monday night, it was of course Inter Milan against Atalanta. A bit of a game on this one, 1-0 in the end. Milan Skriniar were only gone on the 54th minute to give the leaders the 3 points. Actually, remember the 2-1 win myself, and as you can see, I got myself 2, 4, 6 out of bloody 10. Is not fabulous at all, but it's okay. It's okay. And of course, what's that done to the table? We'll have a little look at it, shall we? Of course, Inter Milan lead the charge. They are 6 points clear over AC Milan. Of course, AC Milan actually, what are they? Just 4 points clear over Juventus. They have a game in hand, and of course, Roma not too far away either. Atalanta in 5th, Napoli in 6th. At the foot of the table, Crotone, Parma, and Torino going down, but of course, still a lot of legs left in the table just yet. Let's take a look at, of course, your boys. How do you get on? 0-3 in the shit-faced gang. I'd say 4-6. That should be a big fat 4 right there. We'll get that changed. 4 to 6, you're in the straight face club. And then, of course, seven tops, you're in the bins, boys. That's right. Let's get into it. Of course, here we go. Gaming Charlie, you did good. About of course, Overstringer did better. Absolutely fabulous. Of course, Costas, he's okay. Yannick also did bits. Margie Monday did good. Leo Olivieri also did good. Matt Gunner did bits. The D-Man also did fabulous, of course. This guy down here did alright. Of course, Nathan Eva, you did good as well. Georgie Garsov also did very well. Of course, Hansworth did bits. Jojo, absolutely fabulous. Of course, we like that. Of course, James BCC, great. You did great. Esquivel also did good. As did the Great did good as well. Vincent Long, not too shabby. Of course, Milan FC, you know me, he did good as well. Tom Steiner did absolutely tremendous as well. Well done to you. Of course, Shepard also did very well. In fact, he did very well. Of course, Russell Frost also did very well as well. Of course, Austin did bits. Gerard Hupela, of course, I did good. I did add your extra points on it, so don't worry about it. Of course, Alex Weller also did very well. Ultra Maria, well done to you. Of course, Shane O'Donnell also did very well. And Cody Cahoe also did very well as well. What about the overall leaderboard for this week and this week alone? If your name's Georgie Isaac, don't even look at it. As for the rest, if your name is Ivan Stringer, you just missed out, because Shepherd is your kingpin with 8 out of 10, which is promotion standard right there. We'll talk about that. Let's have a look at what that's done to the table overall for this week and this week alone. Well, he is your leader. Your leader is, of course, Omaji Monday with 59% success rate as of right here, right now. Alex Weller, though, is closing in on him. Alex Weller got himself 5 this week. Omaji Monday got himself 5 as well, so it's pretty much as you were. The biggest gamers on this one, of course. Russell Frost, where are you on this one? You're 16th. You've got a bit of work to do down the foot of the table. I'm trying to see. Ivan Stringer, where are you? You're down 17th. So not really major movement there. Probably the D-Man probably gained in at least 1 point anyway. So, but of course, we could all change it. Of course, with this week, and this week we have an extended week here. We've got the big fixture list, which will take place this weekend, and we have a briefly bonus with, of course, a couple of matches midweek. So that's, of course, 12 points on the agenda. If you get them all right, and of course, Imagine Monday gets them all wrong, guess what? You could hopefully take command. Anyway, let's get deep in the show. Of course, kicking all off with, of course, what do we have? Lazio take on Crotone. This will take place on Friday, the 12th of March. Of course, plays for the last 5. 3 for Lazio, 1 for Crotone, 1 draw. Last round in, of course, Lazio was a 4-0 win for Lazio back in, of course, 2017. Of course, around about December. Of course, Jordan Lukaku, Immobile, Lukic, and Philip Anderson on scoring, giving Lazio the W. Of course, they played this season in Crotone. It was a 2-0 win for Lazio. That was, of course, back in November. And Crotone have actually lost the last 7 away matches on the road, of course, and Lazio winning their last 6 at home. They come into this, though, just 1 win at the past 6 games. That's Crotone, just 1 win the past 5 for Lazio. That was against Sampdoria, where, of course, 3 defeats on the spin for Lazio, who are looking a little bit lost at the moment. Look at the bookies odds on this one. What do we have on the bookies odds on this one? 4-1 on for Lazio, 5-1 is draw, 9-1 is your away win. That's Crotone. Crotone coming all the way down, and of course rooted to the foot of the table. With a win for them, they could go 19th. As for their opposition, Lazio are actually in 7th. With a win for them, they could close in on 6th. I'm going to go with a win for Lazio. You could just about see it 3-0 in the end with points in the bag and moving on. Next up, though, we have, of course, Atalanta up against Spezia. Of course, Atalanta losing last round against Inter Milan, but this time, of course, taking on Spezia. They played each other twice in recent reckoning, and the only one of any note was, of course, the early match this season in Spezia, which ended up as a 0-0 draw back in November. Of course, heading into this, Atalanta have actually scored at least 3 goals in the last 3 home matches. They come into this just 2 wins in the past 4 games, losing to Real Madrid, and also losing to Inter Milan. But sandwiched in between those, they beat Sampdoria and also Crotone quite convincingly along the way. Meanwhile, 4 games without a win for Spezia. Of course, last time they won was, of course, against AC Milan back in the middle of Feb, just before Valentine's Day. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? Of course, Atalanta 4-1 on for the victory, 9-1 is your draw, 5-1 is your 9-1 is your away win, 5-1 is your draw. Spezia all the way down, and of course into 14th, but a win for them, they could actually move up to 12th. Whereas Atalanta are 5th, and a win for them, they could actually go as high as 3rd in the table, brother. They'll get the win on this one with a 2 win and a clean sheet to boot. Next up, though, we have Sassuolo taking, of course, Hellas Verona. Let's get into this one then, shall we? Of course, play each other last 6, 4 for Sassuolo, 1 for Verona, 1 draw. Last round in Sassuolo was a draw. Of course, it was a 3-3 Bobby Dazzler, of course, back in June 2020 in lockdown. Jeremy Bogart with a couple of goals there, Rogero as well. Darko Lazovic, Mariusz Stepinski, and Matteo Pessina on scoring for Verona as they split the points right down the middle. Of course, they played each other this season in Verona. It was a 2-0 win for Sassuolo. Bogart on the score sheet again, Domenico Berardi as well. Heading into this, just 1 win the past 6 games for Sassuolo. That was against Crotone. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat the past 5 for Verona. That was against AC Milan just the other day. A look at the bookies odds on this one. What do we have on this one then, shall we? Of course, Sassuolo 30-10 for the victory, 25 is your draw. Verona is 2-1. Verona coming at you, of course, in 8th, but a win for them, they could close in on 7th. Sassuolo are actually in 9th, but a win for them, they could go above 8th and sit into 8th, of course. And this one, tight one, this one, going to go with a 1-0 win for Sassuolo to get back to winning ways. Next up, we have Benevento taking, of course, for Fiorentina. Fiorentina played each other the last 4, 2 wins apiece, no draws. Last round in Benevento was a 3-0 win, but of course for Fiorentina back in Serie A, of course Serie A, back in October 2017. Marco Benassi, Correbo Babacar, and Sergio Teriu with a big fat penalty in the end. Of course, I'm pretty sure that this season in Fiorentina was a 1-0 win for Benevento back in, of course, November. Fiorentina have actually failed to win 11 of the last 12 away matches heading into this, where Benevento have actually failed to win the last 10, both home and away. They come into this just 1 win and 6 for Fiorentina. That was against Spezia. Meanwhile, just 2 defeats in the past 6 games for Benevento. The rest have been draws. Look at the bookies odds on this one. They're showing Benevento coming at you, of course, 25 for the original 25 is your draw. 11 and 10 is your Fiorentina. Fiorentina are actually in 14th, but a win for them. They could go 20 into 12th. As for Benevento, they're in 16th, but a win for them. They can actually leapfrog Fiorentina and go up as high as 12th themselves in the end. Tight one. This one going to go with a draw, 1-1 in the end. Next up we have, of course, Genoa taking, of course, Udinese. This is a middle of the table crunch clash. Pleasure of the last 6, nothing for Genoa, 4 for Udinese, 2 draws. Last round in Genoa was a 3-1 win for Udinese. That was back in November 2019. Rodrigo De Paul, Ken Zerma, Kevin Lasagna on the score sheet, of course. Goran Pandev, the veteran, on the score sheet for Genoa last time. They also played each other this time, of course, back in Udinese in November. It was a 1-0 win for Udinese. So Udinese are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're actually 6 games unbeaten against Genoa in all comps. In fact, Genoa are actually heading into this undefeated in the last 7 home matches in the division, of course, but without a win in 5, of course, during the last 3. During 3 of the last 5. So it's complicated. They haven't won in 5, but yeah. As for the flip side, of course, Udinese just 1 defeat the past 6 games. That 1 defeat was against Roma. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Then shall we type on this one to Genoa 23-10 for the Richter, 2-1 is your draw. 11-8 is your Udinese. Udinese coming at you, of course, 11th, but a win for them. They could go 10th, whereas Genoa in 13th, but a win for them. They could go as high as 12th as well. Going to go with Genoa on this one against the run of play here with a 2-1 win for Genoa to take the 3 points. Next up we have Bologna taking, of course, Sampdoria, another middle of the table crunch clash here. Played to the last 6, 4 for Bologna, 2 for Sampdoria. No draws. Last round in Bologna was a 2-1 win for Bologna back in, of course, October 2019. Rodrigo Palsi on the score sheet, Mattia Baini as well. Manuel Gariabedini on the score sheet for Sampdoria. They also played this season in Sampdoria was a 2-1 win for Bologna as well. Regini with the big fat OG, Orsolini as well. Martin Thorsby on the score sheet for Sampdoria. Of course, Sampdoria have actually lost the last 4 games against Bologna in all competitions. Heading into this, though, without a win in 4, that's Sampdoria, of course. And just 1 win in the past 5 for Bologna. That was against Lazio. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Shall we? Of course, Bologna coming at you, and of course 5-4 for the victory, 20-10 is your Sampdoria, 12-5 is your draw. Sampdoria sitting 10th in a win for them. They could close it in on 9th. Bologna in 12th in a moment. A win for them. They could actually close it in on 11th. Can't make no movement for these guys, no matter what goes on. I'll go with a 2-1 win for Sampdoria in the end. Next up, of course, Torino up against Inter Milan. Of course, it's the leaders up against the strugglers. Of course, place of the last 6, 2 for Torino, 3 for Inter Milan, 1 draw. It's evens, quite evens in the end. Last time, place of the Torino was a 3-0 win for Inter Milan. Of course, Martinez, De Vrij, and Lukaku on the score sheet, of course, back in November 2019. They also played this season in Milan, of course, a 4-2 win for Inter. So they've actually won 1, 2, 3, the last 3, of course. But Torino have only lost once the past 3 matches in Torino between themselves and Inter, of course, but that was the last time around. Torino have actually drawn their last 5 home matches in Serie A, and that was Inter Milan have actually won the last 7. Inter Milan also keep a clean sheet in 7 of the last 9 matches as well. They're coming to this winning 5 in the split in all competitions. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat of the past 5 games for Torino. That was a heavy one against Crotone, not one you wanted to lose. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? Of course, this is into Sunday's matches. Torino 6-1 for the victory, 5-2 on is your Inter Milan, of course, 15-4 is the draw. Torino in 18th, but a win for them. They could go to 17th. Inter Milan, of course, tops. A win or draw or defeat will keep them top, as they've got a nice 6-point lead at the moment. I think Inter Milan will win this one comfortably 3-0, but I hope Torino upset the apple cart and give AC Milan another passage towards the top. Parma taking, of course, Roma this coming weekend. Played to the last 6, 1 for Parma, 5 for Roma, no draws. Last round in Parma was 2-0 win for Roma back in the Coppa Italia back in January 2020. Lorenzo Pellegrini with a couple of goals there as well. Last time played in the league, though, in Parma was a 2-0 win for Parma. That was, of course, back in November 2019. They also played this season in November as well. 2020 it was a 3-0 win for Roma. Parma have actually failed to win their last 17 matches in Serie A. Also conceded at least 2 goals in the last 8. They come into this, though. Roma winning 3 out of the past 4. Their only hiccup was a defeat to AC Milan. Meanwhile, Parma just 1 defeat the past 4. That 1 defeat was against Inter Milan. The rest have been draws. Not good enough, though. Of course, the bookies odds on this one. Parma 92 for the victory, 11-4 is your draw, 30-8 on is your Roma. Roma coming out of this at 4th. A win for them. They could go 3rd. Parma down to 19th. And win for them. They could close it in on 18th. They look lost at sea at this one. I think it's going to be a tight one, but I think Roma will nick it with a 2-1 win. In the end, Cagliari taking, of course, Juventus this weekend as well. Played to the last 6, 1 for Cagliari, 5 for Juventus. No draws. Last round in Cagliari as a 2-0 win for Cagliari back in July 2020. Luca Gallegino and Squishy Giovanni Simeone as well. They also played each other this season in Turin, of course, back in November as a 2-0 win for Juventus. Ronaldo with a couple of goals as well. Heading into this, though, Juventus unbeaten in the last 4, picking up 3 wins and a draw to boot. Meanwhile, Cagliari also unbeaten in the last 3, picking up 2 wins and a draw to boot as well. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? What do we have on this one? We have Cagliari 11-2 for the victory, 20-9 on is your Juventus, 15-4 is your draw. Of course, Juventus are on third win for them. They close it in on second with the game in hand. Of course, as for their opposition, Cagliari are just above the drop zone, but a win for them, they could move to 16th in the table. Juventus will nick this one with a 2-0 win. Of course, put the pressure on AC Milan, who would take on, of course, Napoli in the final game of this match day. Of course, played to the last 6, 2 for AC, 1 for Napoli, 3 draws. Of course, last round in Milan was a 1-1 draw back in November 2019. Goal scorers on the day, Giancomo Benevento and, of course, Irving Lozano as well. They also played each other this season in Naples, of course, back in November was a 3-1 win for Napoli. Zlatan with a couple of goals there, and Jones Peter Hauge with Dries Mertens on the score sheet as well for Napoli. Timo Bakayoko as well on the score sheet for Napoli. Heading into this, though, Milan unbeaten in the last 4, picking up 2 wins and 2 draws to boot. As for Napoli, they're actually unbeaten also in the last 4, picking up 3 wins and a draw to boot. Heading into this badger, of course, what do we have on this one then? AC Milan coming at you. They are 7-5 for the victory, 9-5 is your Napoli, 12-5 is your draw. Of course, a win for Napoli in 6th. They could move up to 4th. As for Milan, they're in 2nd. They could close it in on 1st in the end. For me, I'm going to go with a goals galore on this one. 5-goal thriller, 3-2 in the end for Milan. But it doesn't stop there for Napoli. Of course, they got a midweek game against, of course, Juventus. Goodness gracious me. They played the last 6, 3 wins for Juventus, 2 for Napoli, 1 draw. Last round in Napoli, of course, was a 1-0 win for Napoli back in February. However, they also played each other in the Coppa Italia this season. It was a 2-0 win for Juventus. Not sure what ground that played in. Actually, the last time I played each other in Turin in the league was a 4-3 win for Juventus back in August 2019, if I'm right in thinking that. Of course, Juventus have actually won their last 7 home matches in Serie A, scoring at least 2 goals in those last 7, whereas Napoli have actually scored at least 2 goals in the last 4 matches, of course. Heading into this, Napoli, like I said, 3 games, the last 4 games, they won 3, drawn 1. Of course, they've taken on Milan prior to this. As for Juventus, also winning 3 and drawn 1 as well. The bookies odds on this one then, shall we? What do we have on this one then? What do we have on this one? What do we have on the... I don't even know if I have the odds. I'm trying to look for them. Right, I do have the odds. They're right in my face. Juventus 4-3 on for the victory, 30-5 is your draw, 50-4 is your Napoli. Of course, a win for Napoli in both their games. They could go potentially up to as high as 3rd. As for Juventus, win both of those games as well. They could go potentially up as high as 2nd in the division. I think they'll get this one as well, Juventus, to put the pressure on AC Milan with a 3-2 win in the end. And wrap it up. It'll be Torino up against Sassuolo. Played on the last 6, 2 wins for Torino, 1 for Sassuolo, 3 draws last round. In Torino, it was a 2-1 win for Torino back in August 2019. Goal scorers on the day, Simon Zaza and Andrea Bellotti on the score sheet, Francesco Caputo as well. They also played each other this season. Of course, it was just, it was actually back in October, 3-3 draw in the end. Karol Linetti, Sasa Lukic and Andrea Bellotti on the score sheet, with Filippo Dukic, Vlad Klinches and Francesco Caputo on the score sheet as well for Sassuolo. Heading into Torino, drawing their last 5 home matches. They're coming into this, just 1 defeat in the past 4. That 1 defeat was against Crotone. Meanwhile, on the flip side, 1 win in the past 5 for Sassuolo. The 1 was against Crotone, who Torino did lose to, of course. Look at the bookies odds on this one, if I can get to them. The bookies odds on this one are 90-10 for Torino, 7-5 is your Sassuolo, 23-10 is your draw. Of course, if Torino win both of their games this week, they could go as high as 14th, or maybe, in 14th. As for the opposition, Sassuolo, if they win both of those games, they could potentially go up as high as 8th in the table. I think I've gone with it. Yeah, point on this one. Torino will not have the good week, just the 1 point in the bag. But guess what? They can move the bloody chains. That's what I think will happen, of course, this week. And, of course, with the Brucey bonus, be sure to get your picks in, of course, nice to know. This is what the table will look like at the end of it. AC Milan will still be in 2nd, of course, 6 points adrift of Inter Milan. Juventus will be breathing down there next with, of course, 58 points as well. Roma, 4th. Of course, Atalanta are 5th. At the foot of the table, Crotone, Parma and Torino going down as it stands. But it's still got a bit of work to do left on this table, of course, and the fixtures are still coming on in. So be sure you get picks in nice and early for the prediction league, and we'll do it all again very, very soon. Until then, though, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that thumbs up. And if you're new, smash your subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rose related, Serie A related, well, football related. We're all here under one brewski. And also check out the links down below on Twitter, Facebook, and of course Patreon if you want to become the latest member of the Brotherhood. Check that bad boy out. Until then, though, I'll see you all soon. Mask up, 6 feet, and all that kind of stuff. And I'll see you all next time.